I learned a fun term that includes just about everything you celebrate in December. You want to hear it?
What is it?
Happy Chris Mahana Kwanzaa.
I thought we agreed it was Festivus.
For the rest of us.
For the rest of us.
Welcome back to The Weird, the Bad, and the Bloody, everybody, where I, Nick,
And I, Nathan.
for your reviewing pleasure, talk about the weirdest, baddest, and bloodiest movies of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, because let me tell you, there were a lot of those in each decade.
Some would say too much. We'd say too little.
Well, this was quite enough for a lot of people, this one, back in 1984.
Yep.
If you haven't noticed, it's Christmas time. It's December. It's the holidays. Happy holidays.
You couldn't tell by our shirts, but I look thinking about it. I don't think I don't have any Christmas stuff.
I do.
You do?
I forgot it
Oh,
today, though.
shit.
Silent Night, Deadly Night is our movie, everybody. It's a little known, like, holiday slasher classic from 1984. Very controversial, mind you. This movie really was taken out of theaters, I think, less than a week after it was
Really? Is
after
that
it
true?
premiered, because
Oh, shit.
or it just got a lot of theaters to take it out because people were picketing outside of theaters, like demanding that they remove this movie.
This is not Christmas. This is not
They
Christmas.
just didn't like the idea that Santa Claus was portrayed as a killer. And right there, I'm like, did you fucks even watch the movie? It's not Santa Claus. It's a guy dressed as Santa Claus. Can you imagine if the real Santa Claus was just like, this is for saying the F word in second grade?
I would like a recut of Miracle on 34th Street, please, where it's like, we're prosecuting Santa Claus. Why? He's a fucking monster.
He murdered
Look
like
at the bodies.
12 people.
Look at the bodies.
Yeah, someone cross-cut this with like the trial in Miracle on 34th
Jesus
Street.
Christ. What a good one that. I'm sipping on wine because it is the holiday season.
And I'm sipping on cream soda because I'm a little full from what we did earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Check that out on our other show. We'll talk about that later.
look, The Weird, the Bad, and the Bloody is a very special show to us, but we just have to come out right out and say, like, we can't keep giving the trifecta award to these movies, but somehow this one just takes the trifecta again.
It is, again, our next trifecta one. The first one was
Halloween 6
Curse of Michael Myers.
for our
You said
October release.
You said it was weird, bad, and bloody. And now you're saying this one is, in fact, weird, bad,
and bloody.
and bloody.
But we have to pick one for this. I really think we owe it to the movie.
To at least start with one.
We owe it to ourselves and the show to not get carried away with like awarding the movies all three titles. I think this one we really have to pick one. This is going to be tricky for me though.
Yeah.
Tricky because I'm just going to come around and say I love this movie. This movie is amazing in all the worst ways. Exhibit
Everything-
A, Grandpa.
Everything is just traumatic. This is like a traumatic Christmas experience. And
This is pure exploitation.
And as weird
Yeah.
as it is, it really feels in line with like 2006's Black Christmas.
Yeah.
It's super sleazy. It's super exploitive. It's super just mean-spirited and just horribly...
It's horribly dark and depressing.
But there's
and
no
just
Lacey Chabert to save this in a Hallmark special, just like Black Christmas had. Unfortunately, no. This is just super mean-spirited about a man that goes around as Santa and just to be honest is just on a killing spree. Like anyone and everyone is fair game. Ain't no one above getting punished or possibly getting gifts. And I have to wonder, where does he keep finding these gifts, Nick? Do you know?
Well, he did work at a toy store.
He did work at a toy store, but he wouldn't have had to if he used today's sponsor, Buzzle. Buzzle is a free app that combines the fun of online shopping and social media.
That's right. The Buzzle app is a top coupon finder. You can automatically discover and apply the best coupons at checkout with their intelligent browser extension. You can say goodbye to searching for promo codes because Buzzle does all the work for you, ensuring savings every time you shop online.
Thank you to Buzzle for sponsoring this Christmas episode of The Weird, the Bad, and the Bloody. And now back to the show.
And now back to the killing. Okay, you mentioned like this movie is about a guy dressed as Santa going around killing people. I think the journey to get there is extremely interesting. Though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because this poor son of a bitch has his life ruined. Like,
No,
it's
he,
just this
he
whole
never
movie
receives the proper care.
No, this whole movie is about this man's life just just going down the toilet year after year.
Spiraling.
Just like since childhood, since Grandpa.
Grandpa didn't help.
I have to talk about Grandpa. Grandpa is the worst fucking person in this movie.
We open, it's a family, right? And they're going to visit the grandpa at the home.
And
he's like catatonic.
in the middle of like nowhere too.
Yeah. He's like super catatonic. Well, back, I guess they.
And it's Christmas Eve. They go to Grandpa. Grandpa is non-responsive per usual.
Mm-hmm.
Until Mom and Dad leave the room with the baby and leave little Billy alone with Grandpa. Grandpa wakes up for Billy just to traumatize him.
He essentially says, "What? Santa is watching you. He's going to give you."
It's Christmas Eve, right?
I would be scared if I was you.
Why
Santa's
is that, Grandpa?
out there.
He even tries calling for his mom, and Grandpa's like, "Shut up."
She can't help you now.
Straight up, what the fuck is the matter with this old asshole? He's literally pulling pranks. He's not catatonic.
No.
Perks up and says to the kid, "You know what Santa actually does, right? He will bring presents to the good kids this year.
All the naughty ones, he punishes.
He will do bad things to you. He's coming for you. Have you been good all year?" And Billy's like, "No." He's like, "You are fucked.
Santa's coming for you."
Mom and Dad walk back in. Grandpa just...
He's like oh.
Yeah.
It's super fucked up. He's like pretending to be catatonic.
Just so he could play this prank on his grandson. Terrible.
Horrible, man.
This kid is already very scared because it's Christmas Eve. And meanwhile, there's a guy dressed in a Santa suit, and he holds up a gas station, ends up murdering the clerk at the gas station.
Yeah, which I do want to talk about the clerk at the gas station. All right. He has a gun pointed at him from Santa. All right. Santa's got a gun on him. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll give you the money." He decides to go for a gun that he has stashed under the counter and then try to draw and shoot while the gun is already pointed at you. There's no situation ever you win that fight. You cannot win that.
He wanted to go down swinging.
He went down with a shot in the chest.
Santa takes off after having robbed the place, and his car breaks down. And lo and behold, the family happens upon him in just the dead of night, middle of nowhere. Very scary. Like, Billy even sees like the guy dressed as Santa and goes, no, go away. He's going to get me. He starts freaking out. And they're like, "Hey, it's Santa. Hey, do you need a ride, Santa?" Santa immediately tries to carjack them.
Yeah.
What does Dad decide to do? Reverse, and just gets his head blown off immediately. It proceeds to
strip the mom,
assault the mother,
and assault the mom.
Horrible.
And this poor kid is...
The kid is smart, though. He takes off. He immediately takes off, like, out of the car.
Hides in a bush.
And horrible, as he's assaulting the mom fights back, so he just cuts her throat open.
It's like it's an act of like extreme violence. There's so much violence for no reason in this.
It's so gratuitous.
Yeah.
It feels like an early Wes Craven movie.
It's super exploitive. It's like, what the fuck, man? This poor kid saw all of this.
And not only that, after his mom is dead, the Santa stands up and he's like, "Where the fuck are you, you little fucker?" And it's just like, no, Santa's literally gunning for me,
dude.
Yeah, he knows I got away. This poor child.
This is my punishment. This is my punishment for being bad.
He killed my parents.
This
kid does not grow up to become a superhero, though.
No.
He gets
This is not Batman.
He gets put in an orphanage run by nuns.
Well, they tie him down and beat him, and essentially that's all of their cures for him.
The nun who runs this place, this Mother Superior, is just the biggest fucking villain in the whole movie.
Lillian Chauvin is the woman that runs it. Lillian Chauvin, the actress.
She's fantastic.
She plays Mother Superior, and Mother Superior is all about tying him down and beating him until he feels better, until he's better.
She is just she's not like God will heal everybody. It's just like, no, the wrath of God will fucking like put you in your place. I'm just baffled at how much cruelty is not only just in this movie, and like 90% of it is directed at this poor kid.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly has problems. He has drawn pictures of like murdering Santa himself, of Santa Claus dying because it's Christmas season, and people are just like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with this kid?" It's just like, what's wrong with this kid? You know what happened to him.
Yeah.
You know what he went through. You know what he saw. Why does everybody keep thinking he's the problem?
So let me ask you this. Do they actually know, or do they just know that he gets really bad around Christmas time? Because they're essentially saying he repressed all of it, right?
No, I don't think so, because I could have sworn somebody actually knows his backstory. They know, like, it's either the nice nun, the only one who's nice to him, or it is Mother Superior.
Yeah.
I could have sworn there's like mention of, no, they know his story.
Yeah.
You make a good point, though. Maybe they don't know it to that extent. But at the same time, I'm thinking, it seems like they all do know his story. And yet they're still like, go sit on Santa Claus's lap. What does he do? He decks the guy in the face.
Yeah.
Knocks him off his chair.
He punches Santa square in the fucking nose. But before that, even, the issue is he also has... One of the things he also, unfortunately, that he associates with being punished or being naughty or Santa getting mad is he sees is it another student or a nun getting laid?
He witnesses two of the... I think like the oldest orphans in there, probably like the two 17-year-olds, like
banging,
getting it on.
Yeah, and then
Mother Superior catches him and just starts beating both of them.
Yeah, and then she also beats Billy again
because
he saw it.
She beats him because like he left his room when she told him to stay in it, but the nice nun said he could leave. So it's like, you told him he could go out and play. He's like, no, you left your room, William.
This all to say,
terrible.
This culminates with him getting a job when he's like 16, 17.
He's 17.
17 at a toy shop.
He's now grown into a strapping young lad, like super built and everything. Yeah.
And he essentially gets a job stocking, but is also asked to play Santa on Christmas Eve. And this is where all the problems start.
Well, we do need to touch on how nice that montage is of him working at the toy store.
Yeah, he does have a really good montage, set to like 70s soul music about, him having a good time working at the toy store. He was actually well adjusted. If they had not made him be Santa, he probably would have had a very successful career as a stock boy.
This is all he needed. Like before he turned 18, as soon as he's done with that, he goes off into the world as an adult. But why do they make him be Santa again?
I don't know.
It's terrible. Like, I guess they don't know his story.
Yeah. Well, the people working at the shop
I don't know why he refused it, too. Why he didn't refuse it.
Probably because they were like, hey, this is what I need you to do.
I'm all for, like, showing that you care at your job to an extent. Again, this is why this movie is like a terrible representation of like how people deal with mental health.
Yep. This is a horrible take on mental health.
I'm laughing a lot because of how absurd it is. It's like it's a movie that shouldn't be taken seriously, but just how much cruelty is in the movie and how much like of an uncaring attitude it has. It's just like, look at this shock value.
This triggers poor Billy.
Yeah.
And he goes on a killing spree dressed as Santa Claus.
It's Christmas Eve, and did you watch the extended version?
Yes.
He unfortunately witnesses another assault, terrible sexual assault, to which he intervenes, thankfully, as Santa.
Yeah. Kills
the guy, saves the girl.
Kills her, though.
And then kills her.
Well, she was being naughty.
What? Why? Just
I don't know.
Showing her skin.
He keeps running around yelling, punish, naughty.
Yeah, the extended cut actually has, there's a version like somewhere online if you find it. It's like you can tell there's grainy parts of the movie added in because they had to cut the movie down and put it in theaters. But upon a certain home video release, they re-added those scenes, but they weren't updated to high definition, essentially. But there's like a moment where he is witnessing this, and then he's kind of like has this snap. It's the moment where he completely snaps.
Yeah,
and he just turns stoic as hell.
He takes a long time to snap too. I do want to say that you get to essentially relive his whole like the shit we saw earlier.
It's the greatest.
It takes
moment.
Forever. It takes forever for him to decide he's going to kill people.
Like Grandpa, his parents getting killed. The nuns beating him witnessing what he did at the orphanage.
It's like 45 to 50 seconds of him reliving his greatest hits.
He's just looking like he's taking a shit on a fucking toilet. eventually he just goes cold stoic and he's just like, I now know what I must do.
Punish.
He kills them
Naughty.
both. Kills them both and he kills the rest of the people in the store. Because they're all having like a party. They're all having like a Christmas Eve, like after hours parties. Like, hey, we
The
did
boss
it.
says, let's get shit-faced.
I'll give the movie this. There's some good atmosphere.
Oh, no,
Like
this is a fun slasher.
when he's going around like on like late at night on a cold dark Christmas Eve, he kills some bullies. He breaks into someone's house and like impales Linnea Quigley on a deer head.
That is Linnea Quigley, right? Yeah.
Not being shy either.
Yeah.
God bless her. That part was so fucking funny. She just opens the door, like her bare chest is out. She's like, oh, come here, cat. Come on in. And then he just appears in front of her. He's like, naughty.
Punish.
Holy shit. It's this big guy. He's huge too.
Yeah, he's
like
massive.
he looks like he could play football.
He grew up to be
But he's got a baby face.
the biggest Santa with a baby face.
We're supposed to he's supposed to still have that little innocence to him. He's just like, again, this poor man's fucked up mental health goes the complete opposite of where of how it should be dealt with in this movie. This guy goes crazy. He goes crazy and he realizes, like, if I cannot get away from Santa, I must become Santa.
I will become Santa.
And this is my calling. This is the final thing of my punishment. I now must become the Punisher.
It's 1984. Same year as Nightmare.
Ghostbusters.
Same year as Ghostbusters. Same year as Chud.
And Friday 4.
And Friday 4.
Final chapter.
So 1984, we're in the middle of the slasher genre. Not many other...
We're at the peak, honestly.
Peak of slasher. Not many other Christmas slashers were around yet. There was Black Christmas.
Same year that this came out, we got Gremlins.
Gremlins, same year. Christmas slasher, perfect time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who's in this. Robert Brian Wilson is Billy, Billy.
He's old. He's older 17-year-old Billy.
Older 17-year-old
He's
Billy.
the one in the Santa costume.
Yep. We've got Gilmer McCormick, who is apparently a singer that was cast as the Nice Nun. Lillian Chauvin is the Mother Superior. She's an actress from, previously. She was in Bloodlust, Pumpkinhead 2.
She's in Pumpkinhead 2?
Pumpkinhead 2, Walk Like a Dragon, The Mephisto Waltz, The Other Side of Midnight. She was in a ton of things. She plays a great evil Mother Superior.
She's so cold as ice in this movie, dude. She's great.
The guy that, the Santa at the orphanage that got shot in the back is called Spencer Ashby.
Yeah, didn't they admit that? Oh my God, that's our priest. You shot our priest.
You shot our priest. Let's talk about that.
Traumatize some more children.
because also his brother is there with him too, right? The one that was a baby.
Yep, he's there as just a little guy.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't know, must be 6-7 years younger.
It's the second movie's all about him.
Yeah,
The second movie.
There's only one good thing in it.
Play the clip.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
That second movie's infamous, not only just for that, but it's just it.
Oh, that stunt scene too with the car.
Oh yeah, that almost hit him.
Yeah. That's a wild stunt scene too.
It's a great stunt.
That's a great one.
But the thing about the second one is they just cut lots and lots and lots of footage of the first one in to get the movie to a running time length.
So Billy and Ricky,
it's all about growing up Ricky in an asylum, recounting the events of the first one, and then he just breaks out and kills people dressed as Santa.
I do want to say we don't usually read the IMDb summary on this show, but I do want. This is a really funny one
that you have to. Right?
Yeah,
this one.
Little Billy. This is the IMDb summary for Silent Deadly Night. Little Billy witnesses his parents getting killed by Santa after being warned by his senile grandpa that Santa punishes those who are naughty. Now Billy is 18 out of the orphanage, and guess who has just become Santa himself?
What?
That's a great summary.
Oh my God.
That is a great summary.
As long as that is, that hooks you in a little bit, doesn't it?
Guess who has become Santa himself?
I mean, wouldn't that make people think that Santa's real in this?
Santa's coming tonight. Santa's coming tonight.
Santa's watching. Santa's creeping.
Yeah, there's a spooky song they sing about Santa too.
Eerie ass song they came up with for this movie. I think it's just for this movie, but it's like no wonder that's not a real song. It's a horrible song.
Santa's watching. Santa's creeping. Are you being good or bad? That's fucking scary.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. I'd be really fucking terrified. Sing that to your kids, everyone.
Show this to your kids and,
Yeah.
and inform them that you better be fucking good all year.
Santa punishes the naughty. This is an interesting concept to at least instill fear in a child, because usually what happens if you're bad with Santa, right? He leaves you cold. That's
Or
it.
nothing. He just doesn't give
You
you
got
anything.
nothing. Or if you're, European, Krampus comes.
Krampus comes and
Gets you instead.
tortures you.
Tortures you for being bad. All right. Santa is never the judge, jury, and executioner. He is only the judge and jury. All right. In this one, he is the in Billy's mind, he is the executioner. It's a really like you said,
This is super
This is a
fucked up.
really dark concept to really go into, because it's clear that he has been through his whole life, Billy has associated being naughty. Now, what does being naughty look like? Whatever he was doing in his life previously, prior to meeting his grandpa at the beginning, and as he goes to the orphanage, sex is naughty, right? Sex
Yes.
is bad. Sex is naughty.
Going against the nuns.
Going against the nuns,
Not doing as you're told.
being ungrateful, essentially those things makes you naughty. And because of what he believes, he's essentially saying, okay, well, I will become the one who punishes.
I need to kill people in order to save people.
There's only one little girl that gets away.
Yeah, what does he give her? A bloody he gives her
box cutter.
He gives her a bloody box cutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is what he used to kill that other person.
Yeah.
He's like, here you go.
All right, let's talk to director, Nick. You remember his name?
Charles E. Sellier Jr.
Yeah, so he is a producer, screenwriter, novelist, director. He produced the American book and television series, The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. That was his big other thing. The only other thing he really noticed, which I can point out, is this one, Silent Night, Deadly Night. A lot of TV movies.
I think they just needed a director for this.
Yeah, he might have. Tell you what, he made something very memorable. He helped
yeah.
make it. This is definitely memorable.
Oh yeah. This is a well-made movie, which makes it even more fucked up.
Yeah.
The graphic violence is depicted as clear as day. Like, they don't shy away from it. They don't cut away from it at any point. And some of it gets silly, like when he just lops the head off of that one guy on the sled.
That's one of my favorites. But I like that because it's like the sled's just going with the headless body on it. That's comedy. Again, we have one of the top police forces in a movie vying for most incompetent. It's these guys too. These guys are pretty incompetent.
God. This is embarrassing.
They somehow get two different Santas. Two different Santas that are wrong. They're like, okay, there's a guy out running as Santa. They see a guy breaking into a house firstly. Turns out he's just trying to
He's a
dad doing like a daughter, being like, oh, I'm leaving a present for my daughter. They bust through the door and they fight the guns. Thank God they didn't shoot him. The other guy got fucked. They showed up at the orphanage hoping that
there's a guy dressed as Santa approaching the kids, and they just unload on him.
Yeah, they don't even tell him. Like, they just shoot him. They shoot the guy.
Blam, down right in front of all these children.
It's this weird metaphor of like how trauma continues.
You could have hit the kids.
Trauma continues to create trauma.
Horrible. No one wants to think about that. No one wants to watch that in a movie. That's why this is so entertaining. It's just incredible. Everything, all the decisions they made to just be like, let's be as messed up as possible. Let's be as unforgivable as possible.
So this releases November 9th, 1984. It's in theaters for barely any time. It is in Veterans Day for a 3-day opening weekend, and I think it's the only time it's in theaters.
Yeah.
It makes $1.4 million, and that has an adjusted value of about $5 million now.
Okay.
Not bad.
They pulled it because people were so fucking mad at this movie. Like, parents were upset like crazy over just how can you depict someone dressed as Santa just killing people. And I'm like, what? I understand them. Even if they didn't see the movie, it's just like, this movie is so messed up.
It gets a home release September 11th, 1991.
Nope.
Oh, shit. Whoops. Do you think anyone on 10 years later was like, I can't wait to celebrate the release of Silent Night, Deadly Night, the 10th year anniversary?
I just got to get home from this flight first. I don't think they got to watch it. Terrible. Look what this movie's done to us. We really mean it. It's really fascinating how just awful this movie is.
Yeah,
in terms of it's just like what it's about. And it wears it like a badge. It takes everything seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I just commend it for that. It's just like you really are just we are just here to make you shudder. We are just here to make you recoil and like in just disgust and fear and like anger. It really is an upsetting movie.
This is this is pretty upsetting.
We're not talking about the gore. We really just mean like the attitude the movie has and like the messages it's pushing or, making fun of. I don't even think it's trying to make fun of it. I think it's just saying like, let's just show a guy going crazy. Let's just go a traumatized guy going insane in like the most disrespectful way.
Yep. He really fucks up a lot. I will say that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Is there any part of this movie that stands out to you as like super memorable?
Lanai quickly. But two memorable things from this movie. I like it when he uses the bow and arrow to like get that bitch in the back.
She's just an employee at the store too. She didn't do anything.
Up till this point, that's the moment it becomes full on. We're a camp slasher.
Yeah.
But after that, it's just like there's no going back.
Yeah.
It's like you've made your bed, and that bed is full of snakes, man. Like because it gets so silly. Like all of a sudden, there's just a bow and arrow in the toy shop. It will go straight through anybody, apparently, if you fire it correctly.
Yeah, I see that they shot that bow and arrow through the heart on that one right there.
Exactly why I put it up there.
Yeah, I just have to say the funniest thing is Santa walking around with an axe. It's so funny to see him just moving around the whole fucking place with an axe, and you just be like...
He just cuts a snowman's head off.
Yeah, he just has it. You have to wonder... Did anyone tell the police that he had one with it? There's a Santa with an axe. It's a pretty big standout.
We each like to give the movie, we talk about a specific award, personal to both of us, what we think it's very deserving of. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, it can be any kind of thing. What is yours?
I'm going to go ahead and say, give this movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the award of most useful, non-useful Christmas gift ever. I gotta say, that's not a bad thing to get. A fucking razor blade for a Christmas present. Like, it's useful. You're gonna use it, right? Like, it's like you can't sit here and say there's no use for a razor blade, an X-Acto knife, whatever he gives her with that.
Even an X-Acto, a box cutter knife.
It's a box cutter because you're like, I could think of plenty of uses for that outside of the murdering, right? But you just see it and you're like, he gives it to this little girl and it's like, wrong person to give it to, but I would never turn that down.
Even with blood on it?
Wash off.
Mine's very broad, but I have to. Worst Christmas party ever. Yeah, worst office/work Christmas party ever. Just like, so everybody gets either like assaulted or just murdered by the end of it.
Is it weird, bad, or bloody, Nick? What do you think?
So, mine might shock you, actually.
Okay.
I gotta call this bad.
It's bad, yeah.
This is bad, and in terms of everything about it is rotten.
Yeah.
That's why I'm calling it bad. Not that it's poorly made or poorly cast or the performances are bad or just the craft or just all around craft is like bad. This is a well-made slasher movie. Mm-hmm. It just decides to go like the whole 9 yards in terms of how messed up can we make this. I'm like, is this movie secretly kind of smart?
Yeah.
That it's like, it knows how to just show the decline of mental health.
Yeah.
Like to the point, to
it.
the most absurd point of snapping and becoming an axe murderer. I have to call it bad because of that, but I still recommend it. If you have the stomach for this kind of movie, this is such a fun slasher. Look at me calling this movie fun.
Yeah.
Stare.
Out of the weird, bad, and bloody, I call it fun.
I think that's why Christmas.
I'll change it up a little bit. I'll call this one bloody. It's bloody enough for me. I mean, there's some gore. There's some real gore in this one. This one's definitely bloody. I keep thinking. I mean, yeah, it probably deserves the trifecta. It's all three, right? But for me personally, this is super bloody. Whether it's the head without the sled without the head, or the Lanai Quigley getting
impaled
on a deer head
On a taxidermy
on a
head.
taxidermy head. Or
That one cop gets a fucking axe right to the torso. Man.
yeah, gets an axe right to the torso. Gets the old Dick Halloran special.
Yeah.
The Dick Halloran special. Only death in The Shining. Only death.
Yeah.
Poor Dick Halloran, bro.
And it's the one black guy.
Nah, shit.
Okay, a bad and a bloody. Now, don't, I'm sorry. I just want to tell you, please don't misinterpret it. I'm not saying this is a really, like, this movie's crap. You shouldn't watch it. This movie is crap, though. Like, it really is. I can't, but I love it. I personally love it, but I have to call it bad because of just how nasty of a movie it is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm calling it bad. It's a rare exception of me saying this is bad, but still watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our final rating there. We got bad and bloody. Bad and bloody.
Yeah, you want Christmas horror? You can't go wrong with this. All right, everybody. We hope you have a very safe and fun holiday season. Thank you so much for watching The Weird and Bad and the Bloody, where we bring to you the weirdest, baddest, and bloodiest movies of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. For you, this time, we brought you something from the 80s, just in time for the Christmas season.
And if you like our episode and what we do, you can check us out at our other show at 1.5 White Guys Podcast on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, where we talk about other movies that aren't necessarily weird, bad, or bloody, but might have some weird, bad, and bloody ones in there.
Happy holidays. Stay safe.
Merry Festivus.
For the rest of us.
For the rest of us. And above everything, be good this year. Or commercial Santa will. Doesn't matter what religion you are, Santa will punish
Santa's
anyone.
coming for you.
Santa's coming for everyone.
Oh, he's coming to town.
Punish.